The dice are hot. They're hot, baby. Stone Saunders is a Kentucky Wildcat. He announced his commitment Friday night on live TV. You rarely get that. He's going to be a Kentucky Wildcat. The quarterback from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, chose the Cats over Miami, Michigan, Nebraska, and Georgia. Ever heard of him, Luckett? He's a big deal. This is a big deal. A huge get in the class of 2025. This kid was Pennsylvania Player of the Year as a sophomore. The first Gatorade Player of the Year in the state's history as a sophomore because he threw for 54 touchdowns and I want to say about 3,500 yards. The kid's a ball player, and most importantly, Kentucky's got a quarterback in their 2025 recruiting class, laying the foundation for a potentially huge class in 2025 like it. I like a lot about Stone Saunders, especially because, I mean, that's just a badass name. I mean, Stone Saunders has to be a great quarterback. It's in the name.
Name straight out of Central Casting. For Kentucky here, it ended up being a head-to-head recruiting win against Nebraska for a 4-star quarterback. Nick Stone Saunders plays for one of the prep powerhouses in Pennsylvania. 2-time starter, has thrown 100 touchdowns in 2 seasons for Bishop McDevitt. They won a state title last year. It just had a big year, and we watched the tape here.
Oh, love that throw. He's moving to his right, and he can hit it 35 yards in the air with a flick of a wrist. That looked effortless.
Accuracy, touch, timing, poise. He layers the football. There's a lot to like. There's a funky windup, as you kind of see there. So that's something to watch, I think, with him as a player moving forward. But this is going to be a guy, but if you fast forward to signing day 2025, he's going to be one of the more accomplished high school quarterbacks in the class. You're talking going to be a 4-year starter for a powerhouse. If he's on pace to throw for 200 touchdowns in his prep career. He's got some real deal credentials, but on top of it, like you just mentioned, Kentucky's on the board in 2025. That makes 2 high school recruiting classes in a row where they've gotten 2 legitimate prospects in Cutter Boley and Stone Saunders, and it just allows them to potentially get off to a faster start here in this next cycle. That's been a big thing recruiting-wise. It's been the slow starts for Kentucky. Get a big guy in the fold early. Another recruiting win for Liam Cohen, and Cohen had a extensive family relationship here with Saunders. I believe Stone's dad was Liam Cohen's trainer when he was doing draft prep. So
it's true. Yeah,
he's had a long, extensive relationship with Saunders, and they were able to give it in the boat. And this was pretty much wrapped up. I got the sense, Nick, last recruiting camp, or one of the last recruiting camps Kentucky had in June. I think it was the last Sunday camp when Josh Caddis' little brother was there. Yep. Saunders was kind of a surprise visit. It was right after he visited Nebraska. They made the drive over to Lexington. Mom and Dad were there wearing UK gear. They all looked very, very happy to be there. Like something big just happened. To me, using my spidey senses, I think he just committed probably to them, the way they were walking around. And so Kentucky was able to wrap him up and get on the board here in 2025. And you've got a succession plan potentially. And like I always say with these quarterback recruits, a lot of it's just you get a lottery ticket. You've got a lottery ticket with some good odds potentially. And so if you can hit on a couple of these and keep stacking these players, good things are happening. Kentucky seems to have fixed their QB recruiting issues with the return of Liam Cohen.
Yeah, you don't need to have Adam Luckett's spidey sense to know that some of these throws are above average for a high school sophomore. Stone Saunders can play. The familial connection works out, but I do think we need to hit it a little bit harder. Cutter Boley was in the same recruiting class as Saunders initially. He reclassified, joined the fold in May. Well, I know that seems like, oh, well, that's 7 months till signing day. That's plenty of time. But the foundation had already kind of been laid there. Like that this is actually on time, right? Even though he technically could not sign at Kentucky for, I don't know, 16 months, give or take. I'm not the best math magician over here. But that is a good long while. And that means that when guys are coming to campus, underclassmen, they know, all right, we've already got a quarterback who's proven, played at a high level in high school football. This is the guy that I'm going to start envisioning myself playing with. And then when junior day rolls around next year, Adam Luckett, in January and February, these guys are going to show up to campus, and he's going to be there being an active recruiter on behalf of the University of Kentucky. we haven't gotten that very often, and that just goes back to what we hearkened to when Liam Cohen was initially hired. One of the things he had to fix was the quarterback recruiting, and he seemingly checked that box before ever calling a play in his second stint at Kentucky.
Yeah, I think you mentioned the recruiting, just game visits this year. A lot of game visits are building relationships for the next class, and then setting things up for the junior day, and for the official visits coming in June, and for unofficial visits that you get kids on campus in March and April, before decisions are made in July. And now you have a quarterback that can be kind of a building block of this class and can be there for a lot of games, potentially. At least the big ones where you're going to have a lot of guys in town for. So it's just a big deal from that aspect alone.
And another thing you mentioned, too, with the familial connection, because, like, a lot of people out there, call me when it's signing day. He's going to flip. There's no way he's going to stick around. If Liam leaves, well, okay, maybe if Liam leaves, he's done. But having this relationship with Cohen's and Saunders' family, it's pretty thick. I don't think this guy's going anywhere unless Liam gets a head coaching job elsewhere. It feels like this is at least going to stick until he can sign on the dotted line in the early signing period in 2025. And even if he does flip, if Cohen leaves at that, like a week before then, right, and Saunders just goes with him wherever, you're still going to have most of that class in the fold that he helps bring into Kentucky.
Yeah, typically, though, these quarterbacks, some flip. The ones that do, usually, there's like a dream school situation. Mm-hmm. You're committed to Baylor and Florida State comes open kind of thing. Saunders, I don't know what his fan connection would be, the school that would do that, but you're right. I think
Penn State, but they would have already been recruiting him. I don't know.
I think the family connection or the family friend connection here, I think it's going to be strong. So you're going to have him as a building block again of this class, and that's big. And I just think stacking guys in that quarterback room, high school prospects, you're giving yourself more swings at the plate in a home run derby essentially. Mm. You're getting more balls in the rack of a 3-point shooting contest. And so you have that, and then the portal's always in your back pocket. You can always go to the transfer portal if things don't look great in your room entering an upcoming season. So you're just giving yourself more chances to really hit. Capital Prize booth, you're just buying a lot more tickets than maybe the other one. So I think Kentucky's there's a lot of issues right now, I think, with recruiting. It's a lot of skepticism, some of it understandable. Mm-hmm. But they fixed the quarterback recruiting, which has been the biggest issue. The biggest issue, the biggest dark cloud over the program has been to quarterback recruiting. It's been so inefficient. They've been able to win games and build something without doing very well recruiting quarterbacks. And now that has changed. So now does that raise your ceiling moving forward? We're going to have to wait and find out, but you have to like its chances that it will.
Yeah, certainly. And as we wrap up this edition of KSR Rapid Reactions, I want you to close your eyes and I want you to envision this scenario. It's 2028. You're pushing 40, and
oh God,
and you hear fans erupt in applause as Stone Saunders dials one up deep, and then over the intercom, Carl Nathy says, "Touchdown, Kentucky!" And then, "'Cause Stone Cold said so," and the glass cracks and the crowd goes wild.
I didn't even think about that.
Oh, yeah. Man. They're playing his music. Oh, I mean, just the glass cracking as they're coming on the field. Oh, I mean, you can't miss on that opportunity.
That. Yeah, he's already got the inside track for a nice NIL package.
I'm glad. See, we're doing the job for the UK marketing people. You're welcome. You're welcome. You got plenty of time to prepare for it, and you got plenty of time to celebrate Big Blue Nation. Stone Saunders is officially a Kentucky Wildcat.